Afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our session today on how to quickly add chat to your Android application and then make it more interesting by adding on-demand translation. My name is Jason Koo. I am Sendbird's developer advocate. And the first question you might have off the top of your head is who or what is Sendbird? Now, Sendbird is the leading digital interaction platform for chat, voice, and video services. We are battle tested at scale and have over 110 million monthly active users on our platform, sending close to 2 billion messages a month. We have over 200 employees, more than 100 of them actively building our products and platform. So that's a lot of engineering firepower with global presence. We have over 70,000 developers who build on top of our APIs and whose feedback we use to continuously improve the product. So we've raised over $120 million over the last 4 years, so you can think of us as an extension of your own engineering team who will be around to back you up for a long time to come. We have three main products currently. First is Sendbird Chat, which we will be discussing today. We also have Calls, which is for adding real-time voice and video services to your app or website. And we have Sendbird Desk, which is a suite of tools and features for extending chat as a customer support platform. All of these products sit on top of a common high-performant, reliable, and secure platform built on top of AWS over 8 global regions for low latency and performance at millions of concurrent connections per app. We have 24/7 SLA-based support, customer success, and account managers are available. We are compliant with major standards such as SOC 2, ISO, HIPAA, and GDPR, and we employ TLS encryption and AES 256 file encryption. We are also very proud that industry leaders and some of the largest apps in the world have chosen Sendbird to power their digital interactions. Healthcare companies like Practo and Headspace for providing telehealth services. We also connect buyers and sellers in real time to accelerate marketplaces like Rakuten and Carousel. We empower on-demand companies such as Delivery Hero by connecting their drivers and consumers. We help hundreds of millions of Redditors connect one-on-one or in real-time chat rooms. And we help Dream11, MPL, and Yahoo Sports connect fans with one another in their fantasy sports apps. Okay, now you know Sendbird. Okay, I just want to go through this agenda real quickly. We're going to talk about the requirements for setting up for using our SDKs, adding the SDK and running the chat services, and then expanding that for the on-demand translation. Okay, setup. Now, we're going to need some IDE to program with. I'm going to demonstrate today with Android Studio. Next, you'll need an active Sendbird account. If you don't have an account already, you can go to our website at www.sendbird.com. And there you can sign up for a free 30-day trial, which gives you access to all the premium features as well. Okay, so for creating the app, and I think what we'll do here is we'll just go to the dashboard here, which I need to bring up for you guys because I didn't do that earlier. And what we will do is sit here and wait for me to find the right dashboard among my millions of tabs. Okay, so here, I think I got this now. Okay, all right. So that totally failed. Okay, so I'll be doing a cut there. And I'm not sure why I'm looking at this like this. This is not what I wanted at all. Maybe this was, this is what I wanted. Setup. Yeah. Terrible. I'm gonna cut this out. Apologize that I deleted all this stuff. Now I'm just adding it back in, giving myself lots and lots of extra work to do here. Okay, so that's really just terrible. And why doesn't this appear on this thing? No video. It's on my presentation. Okay, that's weird. Screen. Okay. Boop. All right. Window capture. Turn that off. In fact, we'll just delete that. Okay, so starting over from here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go to the dashboard and create an application. So down here in the lower right, there's a purple button. Just click on that, and here we'll just create my awesome application. and then select which region to spin up the initial service with. Give it a few seconds, and then the application should be ready. You can see up at the top we have application ID, which we'll need later. Let's go create some users. So up in the upper right, we'll just add in alpha and Bravo user. Here we also have the option of adding profile images and a user token. Just for simplicity, we won't do it right now, but it's something you can add here. Okay, so after that, we're going to go to settings and settings. What we're going to do is we're going to turn on the translation tools. Sorry. Okay, once that's done, we're good to go. All right, that was a little clunky. Let's try that. Okay, so starting over. Oops. Okay, so what I'm going. Jesus Christ. Okay, so now I'm going to just show you the dashboard and how to add an app and some users. Okay, so down the lower right here is this little purple button. We'll just call it My Awesome Application, and we'll select one of the 8 regions to spin up. And I'll just choose Oregon because it's close to me. Give it a few seconds, and then it should be done. You can see up at the top there's the application ID. We'll use that later. Okay, let's add some users here. Just name it Alpha and Bravo. I actually have another app for us to use that's populated with the profile images and stuff. But here, we're just showing you how you would add additional users on your own. Okay, now that we have a few users, let's go to settings. And what we're going to do is turn on the translation tools, which is a premium feature. But the premium features, again, are enabled for free trial. Okay, and that is that. Okay, so some slides here that's going to reiterate that process. Okay, so now we got the users, we enabled the translation tools. Okay, so before we add chat, just real briefly, so the sample code that I'm kind of going through, I have it in a repo that you can go to. So I've broken up the repo into 3 folders, right? There's a start, which is just kind of like it's literally just the Android Studio, one of the Android Studio's sample applications with an image changed. And then 2 is what we're working on now, which is adding the chat feature. And then 3 is the tail end with the chat feature with the on-demand translation. Okay, so the link to the GitHub repo should be in the session data on the platform. But if it's not, I put the link written down on the bottom, and I'll leave that there for a few slides so that you can write that down if necessary. Okay, the general flow is as you would expect. You got a number of users, and you select a user to, well, you log in as a user, and then you will choose a user to talk to, which will be done in the group channel selection. Okay, after that, you just kick off a chat and then just start sending and receiving messages. The SDK options available to you. We've got the initial chat SDK that we built, which is very feature rich. This will power any sort of UI that you have on your own or will plan to build on your own. Of course, if you don't want to build your own UI, we have another SDK called UIKit, which has a lot of the chat features with the entire UI, the basic UI views available to you. So for selecting channels, selecting users, and the whole chat UI that you would be typically expect from a chat application. It's highly customizable, so it's highly recommended that you start this route, and this is what we'll be using today. And then from there, you could just download a starter app or this demo application and be up and running in no time. What we're going to do today is we're going to show you how to add to an existing application because this scenario fits probably most people's existing scenario. Okay, so the implementation steps are as you would expect. After you've chosen which SDK to go with, we're going to add the dependencies. We'll initialize the SDK as soon as possible within your app lifecycle. We will connect to the Sendbird backend, which will then kick off the UIKit interface, and then you can start chatting away. Okay, so from here, I'm going to dive into code. So what we're looking at is our kind of starting position, right? This is the basic activity view that Android Studio provides to you when you create like a new project as starting position or starting application. Okay, so let me bring up the emulator for it and show you what it does, because it does so much. So we're gonna ignore all this activity in this button here, and we're just interested in this teal button here. So by default, it's set to just display the snack bar. It says replace with your own action, which is an invitation to add our own code, which is exactly what we're going to do. Okay, so let me put that emulator away and jump back into the code. Okay, to get started, we want to add in our dependencies. So we're going to start here in the project level build.gradle file. And we're going to put in a single line here. This is going to be a call to Maven to grab Jetpack. Then go to your module build.gradle file. And we're going to add two things in here. We're going to add in data binding. And we'll stick it here to be alphabetical. And then the actual UIKit dependency, which we will stick under dependencies. Okay, so we'll sync that. While it's syncing, we'll jump to main activity. So now we're going to initialize the SDK. And we can put that anywhere, like an extension of the base application would be a great place. But just to move us along, we'll just make use of the main activity that's here already. And inside this onCreate function is where we'll stick the init call. We'll do it right before we do the floating action button callback. Okay, so we're just calling init, and this is where we would pass in the app ID and the user ID for the person that we are, right? The user. So obviously you would precede this normally with a login activity and function where as part of that login process, you would get the Sendbird user ID for your given user or create one at that time. Okay, so of course we got to bring in some our actual import statements. Let's bring these in. There are three that we'll ultimately end up using. One for UIKit. The init requires a UIKit adapter, and we'll come back to the user info. Okay, so again, since we're skipping out on the whole login process to get to the fun stuff, I'm just going to use a bunch of constants for a user that I've already made for our sample demo. Okay, so what we will do is we will replace the snack bar with a call to Sendbird, which will connect with our backend. And once that backend is complete, it will start the channel list activity, which is one of several activities that is pre-built into UIKit, which is of course the advantage of using UIKit. Okay, in the process we are getting an entered user, so we will bring that in. This exception, I'm never sure why that always needs to be imported back in. Okay, all right, so that's it. So we connect, granted there's no errors, it will kick off at an activity, this activity that we want to start. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of cheat a little here. So I've ran this code already on this emulator, so I'm gonna show this off, and then I will kick the build process. In case that Gradle build takes forever, we can just move along. Okay, so what we should get is this emulator here, which now when I tap on the teal button should kick off the channels list activity. And here, okay, so here it's running and we can see we don't have any channels yet. So let's start a chat with somebody. So I've got a couple other users in the system. Let's talk with Ultron. And oh, okay, yeah, just Ultron. Okay, oop, and let's create it. Okay, so hey, how's it going? Okay, and we'll send this message off. Of course, this is not super interesting unless we have another app to talk to. So fortunately, I've got another emulator set up that is the Ultron user. So we'll just turn on the same activity. Did I tap? Thought I tapped. Okay, so it's bringing up the channel list view, which should show, yep, here's the conversation with Batman. Let's click this, bring it up. Whoa, I may have too many emulators on. Let me turn off one of the three emulators that I got. Okay, so here we're chatting with Batman. Let's see. It's going great. Have you spoken to Iron Man recently? Oh, I guess 2 emulators is still too much. Okay. Eventually it'll finish typing in. Boom, we'll send this off. Okay. All right. So we see the chat working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the emulators off. I'm going to kick off the build process to see how long this will take. And we'll build this to 29. And build Gradle is running. Okay, so I'll let this run for a few seconds before I move on. While this is running, I can talk about the group channels. So what we saw here is an example, again, of group channels. We have 3 different channels available. We have open channels, group channels, and supergroup channels. So open channels are basically public forums, right? So you could have it with like a live stream where you have a lot of, or all of your users kind of talking into one room, one giant room. And then we have groups which allow you to have smaller numbers of folks to talk with. So, you know, like just friends or some particular group, or a one-on-one chat like what we've opened up here. And then in between is a super group, which has, you know, advantages of and features from a group, but for much larger groups. Yes, very well named, very clear. Okay, so I hit a Dex error here with too many methods just by a hair. So if you happen to encounter this, which I'm sure everyone else does repeatedly, we're just going to add in multi-dex. Can I remember this? Oh, I'm probably going to misspell this, so I'm just going to pull this multi-dex enabled. True. Yes, true. And then we have to bring in the multi-dex dependency. So, what's the name of it? Sender? No, Android support. Okay, that's a good thing I didn't try to write that. Okay, so sync this, and then I'll kick off the Gradle process again, and then I'm just gonna move on because I get the feeling this build Gradle is gonna take a while again. Oh. Maybe fast. Oh well. Okay. All right. So that's it. That's all you need to get the UI kit up and running. Again, what we did was we added the dependencies to the build.gradle files, initialized the SDK, connected and started the channel list activity, and then what we got is a working chat app. Okay. So now for adding translation. Now, we have a couple different translation options, and the one we're going to focus on is on demand. So for extending the chat, the 2 kind of prerequisites is we enable translation tools, which we did in the dashboard early on in the session, and then, of course, have some chats going on. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to modify the chat activity to have an option to display a translation for a given message, and then do the on-demand translation and then present that to the user in some form or fashion. Right, so we will need to add in two custom classes here. So what we're going to do is we're going to first create a custom channel activity. Now the default channel activity is already handled by the UI kit when we call channel list activity. So when you select a channel to go into, it will automatically spin up the default channel activity. So we are going to create a custom channel list activity to display our own custom behavior. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'm gonna bring this in bits so I can talk about the different parts. Okay, so the first thing is, of course, we want to build a class. Let's close that out. Okay, so what we're doing here is, again, we're doing a subclass of the channel activity, and in the channel activity, one of the functions is create channel fragment. The channel fragment is what handles a lot of the actual UI for the chat bubbles, and etc. So in the builder, we have one override function called the set item long click listener. So what we're going to do is when we tap on this, so let me bring this up. Oh, this is probably not running well anymore. So I'll run this again in a second. So when you do a long tap by default on a message, it'll bring up reactions. So what we want to do is we want to override that and present translation of the message instead of the default behavior. So to do that, we will add in a, let's do a helper function here for showing dialogue. So this is pretty basic, pretty boilerplate. Dialogue. Okay. So the meat and potatoes part is the show translations function, and this will be kind of a multi-part process here. It's kind of a long function, but I'll talk us through it here. Show function. Okay, so in here in the item long click listener, we've got the base message, which is the message that we've clicked on, and we'll just pass it to this function. So when we pass it to this function, let me turn these on while we're talking. Oh, right. A bunch of import statements might be helpful. And I'll just bring this all in one go. Okay. So when the message comes in, what we're going to do is first we're going to grab what is the default or the default preferred language of the existing user's device. And we're gonna check real quickly to make sure that it is a user message and not another kind of user message type. And if it is a user message, which it should be once we click on the item long click listener earlier, we're going to check its properties, its translation property. So on-demand translation is one of several translation features we have available. The other option is you can do the translations at the time of the message send. So in which case, the message part of its property payload will have a dictionary of available translations. So what we're doing here in this function is we are going through that dictionary and looking to see if the language of the existing user is already inside that dictionary. If it is, then we'll assign the translation message that we will display in the show dialog function here. If it's not found, what we will do is we will grab the channel that we're on and we will call the translate user message on it. So the on-demand translation API is attached with the different channels themselves. So we'll pass the message that we had and the target. So we pass in an array of languages that we want translated. So we could translate to multiple languages in one go. Here we're just focusing on one language, so we're just going to pass a single item array. And then once we get that translation back, we are just going to kick off the show dialog button with the full array of translated messages. So that should, so if that message had multiple translations attached to it, this would just kind of show all of them. So obviously we could add in additional functionality where we just target the user's language, but for simplicity, we'll just show any and all that might be attached to that. Okay, so that's it for the custom channel activity. So we need, again, a custom channel list activity to put this activity in. So we'll just call this custom channel list activity. And this one is going to be pretty trim because we're just going to pass this custom class to it. So we'll just drop everything in here in one wallop. Again, this is a subclass of the channel list activity, and very similar to the channel list channel activities initial setup is a function called create channel list fragment. So we're just going to override that, and when we click on an item, instead of passing in the default channel activity, we're of course passing in the custom one that we just made. Okay, so last thing we need to do is to change this default call to our new custom class. And to do that, we will have to use, we'll create an intent. Let's block this one out. With the, no. Yes, I would like to import that intent. My intent is that intent. Okay, so this should kick off the custom channel list activity. Okay, so let's kick off the build. And if the demo gods are willing, it will not take too long to build and we can get right to it. Oh my goodness, I left the emulator up blocking the code, so I do apologize. Let me turn that off, and while it's building, I can kind of walk you through that code again. So main activity, here's where we, oh, is that showing? Yep. This is where we are calling the custom channel list activity. Let's delete that one. And in the custom channel list activity, we are just overriding the default click behavior to present the custom channel activity. And in the custom channel activity, we've done the code. We're overriding the default fragment creation with this set item long click listener override, which calls the show translation function, which goes through that process that I talked about earlier, and then kicks off the show dialog. Okay. Of course, there is a conflicting import. Oh, do I have two alert dialogs? Well, I must have fat fingered that, didn't I? Okay. Okay. We'll rebuild again. Okay. So I think I rewalked everything in this function. Good. Okay. So of course, if there are any questions on these particular elements, we of course have very thorough docs that you can go through, but of course you can reach out to me or post any issues to that repo as well. Okay, so that should be up and running now. So I'm going to show off this emulator and the earlier Ultron emulator or device. So these emulators in advance, I have set up language preferences, which you might have seen earlier. So Ultron's, I believe, is Spanish, and for Batman, I believe I set it to German. Why not? Okay, so I kick off the. Oh, so this died on me. Why did it die? I see no error message, so that's confusing. API 30. Okay, so I am dubious of it working just by me pressing buttons again. Actually, let me check the code. Did I forget something? Right, in activity, we're bringing up the custom channel list, right? Custom channel list. We build the custom. Wait, custom. Yeah. 10 from custom activity, custom channel activity. Yeah. This looks like it should work. Okay, let's go back to the emulator. See why it didn't work last time. Is it going to work this time? No. Oh, well, that is highly unfortunate. And let me check the emulators. So it is API 29. Worse is I've got no slog cat tell me. No. Okay, what I will try to do is I'll do a clean and delete the app. Attempt to delete the app. Come on. Boink. And yes, I'm assuming that's German for accept. Okay, let's rebuild again and see if I just needed a clean start. I'm dubious. Oh, I'm not even looking at the right emulator. That's problem number one. Number two is, why do I not see app? Is it not loaded yet? Okay, let's switch to verbose. Oop. Moderately frozen. Okay, I probably just need to be patient and let it finish building first. Usage 13 not muted. Okay. Is there any other features I can... I mean, there's tons of features I could tell you about, but what... my memory is lapsed. What did I tell you before? Oh, is it building? Oh, saved in the nick of time. Okay. Click and work. That would be great. I would love that. Oh, no. So close. Okay, well, hopefully we actually have an error message this time. Now that we are on the right emulator. Okay, what did I do? Custom channel list activity. Oh, of course. Everyone probably saw that. And if we were at a real, not a real session, at a real live session, someone would have said like, hey, you forgot to add it to your manifest. Okay, so, why do I always forget how to do this? Activity, enter name, custom channel list, and then close this out. And then we'll create the one for the custom channel list. What a noob mistake. Okay. Okay, so that was embarrassing. Let's rebuild this, and this should hopefully be good to go. Oh, that was so fast too. Or is it fast? Now that I'm staring at a blank screen again. Let's see. Oh, is it going to be a multi-dexer? No. Unknown bits set in runtime flex. Oh, well, that's new. No, okay, well, not critical. Gonna keep on moving. Gonna pretend I didn't see that error. Okay, tapped on the PO button to kick off the channel list thing. I'm now starting to think I should have just had that kickoff from start instead of having a button click off. That would have saved us a little bit of time. All right, spinning this up. Okay, so now we are in the same conversation. Translation function should be available. So if I long click this, I see German translation. So awesome. Okay, so great. That took a little bit longer than I really wanted to get up and rolling, but here you can see translation feature added. Okay. All right. So let me go back to presentation here. So again, we're just adding, this is just kind of screen grabs of what we had gone through, which was UI triggers for our fragments, the code for the on-demand translation. I went through that twice already because we had to wait a little bit, displaying translation, so we'll just kind of skip through this. Okay, so that's it. Again, we got translation up and running, chat up and running. Thank you again for attending. If you have any questions or want to reach out to me, I'm available through email, of course, LinkedIn. I'm a heavy user of LinkedIn, so definitely reach out to me there. And then I do also have a Twitter account that I kind of listen more than I actually post stuff. Okay, great. Again, thank you again, and hopefully you will have a great weekend.